Hello everyone, this is a video topic presentation for the course Artificial Intelligence Foundations and Applications. Our team members include Kaushik Malga, Nikhil Yadav, Sheikh Siraj and myself Nilanjan Das. The title of our presentation is Graph Coloring Using Heuristics. So the graph coloring problem, we have an input graph G, which is an undirected graph, and it consists of this V, the set of vertices, and E, the set of edges. So we have to color the whole graph G, keeping in mind this constraint that no two vertices connected by an edge will have the same color. So there are two variants of this problem. First is the optimization variant, also known as GCP, and there the goal is to find a coloring with minimal number of colors, or a partition of vertex set into minimum number, which is called chromatic number, denoted by chi. And this variant is NP-hard. The second variant is the decision variant, which is popularly known as KGCP problem, and here the goal is to decide whether for a particular number k the given graph can be colored with k colors. So this variant is NP complete. And as you can see below, we have an undirected graph G, and there is a 3 coloring solution for the graph G. Now there are some exact algorithms for this graph coloring problem which are based on branch and bound or branch and price procedures with linear programming relaxations, and we have listed here some of the integer programming formulations in the form of a table with the number of variables and the constraints. But it is highly unlikely that efficient exact algorithms which are guaranteed to find optimal colorings do exist. Thus practically we are in need of heuristic algorithms that find near optimal colorings quickly. So some heuristic algorithms for the GCP are DSATUR or degree of saturation algorithm, BSC backtracking sequential algorithm, and RLF recursive largest first algorithms. There are of course many other algorithms, but in this presentation we will primarily discuss about these three. So let us move to the desaturation algorithm, DSATUR. So it is a greedy algorithm, and before jumping to the pseudocode, let's see a term known as degree of saturation, which is defined to be the number of different colored vertices in the neighborhood of that vertex. So the pseudocode goes as follows: we first generate a degree ordering of V, then we select a vertex of maximal degree and color it with the first available color. Then we consider a vertex with the highest degree of saturation, and if there are ties, we break that by considering the vertex with highest degree, and again if there are ties, then we break them randomly. Then we loop through the color classes created so far and color the selected vertex with the first suitable color. Unless the vertex set is all colored, we again return to step 3 and repeat the procedure. So the performance is like that: the worst case time complexity of DSATUR algorithm is order V square, but the algorithm can also be implemented using a binary heap to store the saturation degrees, which in turn operates in order V plus E into log V. Now for dense graphs, E is order of V square, hence the time complexity is order V square log V, which is actually worse than order V square. But the good news is for sparse graphs, E is order of V, so the complexity is order of V log V, which is much better than order V square. So this is an analysis of the time complexity which can be improved for the sparse graphs. Also, DSATUR is known to be an exact algorithm for bipartite cycle and wheel graphs, but it also performs better as an heuristic for random graphs, and it produces significantly better vertex colorings than the greedy algorithms on random graphs with edge probability 0.5. So let us go through the simulation of the DSATUR algorithm. So let's think that we have a graph of this format, and initially there is no color, like all the nodes are uncolored at first. So according to our algorithm, we will select the vertex of maximal degree, that is vertex 1, and color it with the first color. So I have colored it with green, light green, and then we have to find the vertex with highest degree of saturation. So out of all the 3 vertices except one has degree of saturation 1, right? So now how to break ties by considering the vertex of highest degree? So in this case 4 has degree 1, but 2 and 3 both have degree 2. So note that this degree is not the degree of saturation. This is only the degree of a node in that graph. So now also there is a tie between 2 and 3. So the further ties are broken randomly. So I have chosen 2 and colored it with the color orange, because there is an age constant. Next, since vertices are remained uncolored, that is 3 and 4 are uncolored, so we again choose the vertex, try to choose the vertex which has highest degree of saturation, right? So in this case 4 has degree of saturation 1, but 3 has degree of saturation 2. So we choose 3 and then we color 3 with the first available color, that is blue, because the age constant prevents it from using the colors light green and orange. So I have colored 3 with blue, and now we have remaining one vertex which has degree of saturation 1. So we color it with the first available color. So according to our algorithm, first we had colored light green, then we had colored orange, then we had colored blue. So the first available color to be colored with for 4 to be colored is orange, because there is a conflict with 1, right? So we have colored it orange. So this is all about the Desaturay algorithm and a small simulation on it on a graph of 4 vertices. The next two algorithms, that is BSC and RLF, will be explained by my teammate Nikhil.
Okay, so now we will talk about the backtracking sequential coloring algorithm known as BSC. It is a sequential coloring algorithm as per the name, and it is quite simple and very logical algorithm. So what we are trying to do here is that we arrange the vertices in some order, here according to non-decreasing degrees. There are other variations also where the ordering is done in non-increasing degree or according to the number of colored or uncolored neighbors. Also, the ordering might be static or dynamic as per the algorithm. Like once we do the ordering, it can be static, or we can change it every time we run the algorithm. Okay, now coming to the pseudocode of the algorithm. So initially, we arrange the vertices in a particular order, and then we choose the first vertex in the list and color it with the smallest valid color. So we will also have a ordering of the colors, right? So we will choose it with the smallest valid color and update the color set of its neighbor, because those neighbors cannot be colored with the same color, right? That's the constraint of the graph coloring problem. And suppose when we are doing this algorithm step by step, we come to a particular node which cannot be assigned any color. Then it means that our assignment of the previous colors have been messed up, and we have to backtrack a step. So that's the backtracking step, and then we have to reassign that previous vertex to some other color and try some different assignment. Okay, some a particular step can also be taken. Suppose we know that there is an upper bound for this chromatic number of the graph, then we can actually remove all the colors which are greater than that particular chromatic number, because they won't be used. So this is one small optimization that can be done. Later we will see one more heuristic which can be applied on this backtracking algorithm. Let's talk about the performance of this algorithm. So the worst case time complexity of BSC is order of mod v times mod e to the power mod v, where mod v, let me call it n, and mod e, let's call us m. So order of n times m to the power n. But in practice, when combined with heuristics, the execution time is significantly reduced, and using the heuristic also brings the chromatic number down by 20% when compared to various other algorithms like DFS with iterated greedy heuristic. Okay, so let's see one small example of the BSC. So here we have 7 nodes which are uncolored initially, and we have this color set: red, yellow, blue, green. Now we choose the we decide the ordering, and the ordering is, suppose the first vertex would be C, because it has the maximum degree, right? So we color the C node with red, and then we choose the next vertex with highest degree, which is E, suppose. Okay, now the degree of A would be reduced by 1 because C is removed, right? D, C, D, A, B and F, all these will have degrees reduced by 1 because C is already colored and being removed, right? So this is one thing to keep in mind, because the graph is being updated every time one node is colored. So all the neighbors will have degree reduced by 1. Now we will again color E with red, then G with red. Sorry, G with red. Now we move on to A, D and F, which will be colored yellow because red is conflicting. And suppose we will color A with red, but then we will backtrack, and in this way these are colored yellow, and B is remaining. So we have to color it with blue because red and yellow are not possible. So we will go in this order and color it with blue. So this is how BSc will work on this. Now talking about one more heuristic that can be applied over this algorithm. So the user can define some particular upper bound on the chromatic number, right? Then what we can do is that we will try to apply this algorithm and find some coloring. Okay. Now we will see that, okay, this coloring is not possible with, suppose T is 5. So we can say that, okay, this graph is not going to be colored by 5 colors. So we will try to find where this coloring is getting breached, where this boundary is getting breached. So suppose a particular vertex was going to be colored, but its color set is exhausted. So it means that we need more than 5 colors. We need to introduce a 6th color to color that vertex. So BSc, what will BSc do is it will introduce that 6th color and move on. So this, it doesn't care about the upper bound, right? But this heuristic, what it will try to do is that it will see, can we reassign the different colors, those different 5 colors in some other way, such that this particular vertex can also be assigned some color from those 5 color set, so that our upper bound need not to be moved by 1 more. Okay, so this is what this heuristic does, and this is the pseudocode for it. But suppose that there is no other possible reassignment, then we will have to increase our upper bound by 1. So this is this heuristic which brings down the number of the chromatic number by a lot in practice. Okay, now let's move to another algorithm called the recursive largest first algorithm, RLF. So basically it is kind of a greedy algorithm, and in fact the RLF algorithm is one of the most popular greedy heuristics for the vertex coloring problem. What it does is that it sequentially builds color classes on the basis of greedy choices. In particular, the first vertex placed in color class C is one with the maximum number of uncolored labels, and the next vertices placed in C are chosen so that they have as many uncolored neighbors which cannot be placed in C. Also, it is important to keep in mind that the greedy choices can have a significant impact on the performance of the algorithm. Okay, so let's see the pseudocode. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to find a set of vertices which can all belong to a particular color set without any conflicts, right? Okay, so what we do is that, let's suppose V dash is the set of uncolored vertices, U is the set of uncolored vertices that cannot be legally placed in C. So we need these two particular sets, and we will divide the vertices of the graph in these two sets. Okay, and when the algorithm runs, what it does is that it will find a particular vertex V0 which has the maximum number of edges in the current graph, and then we will assign that particular vertex the color C, and we will put it in the set C, and all its neighbor will be put into set U, because those neighbor will never be assigned the color C. Okay, and then from the set of remaining, from the set of uncolored vertices, we will subtract that particular conflicting set of nodes, because those we don't need to consider anymore. Those nodes will have some other color, okay, not the color C. That's why we have to remove them. And then we will keep doing this step again and again in a recursive fashion. So what we'll do, we will have an initial graph, then we will choose some vertex with maximum degree. We will keep it in, we will assign it a particular color, say red, and then we will remove all its neighbor and throw it out of the graph. Then in the remaining graph, we will again choose a node with highest degree in the remaining graph, I say. Okay, so the graph is getting updated dynamically, and in that we will choose node with maximum degree and assign it color red, and then throw all its neighbor out. In similar way, we will we will have a set of vertices such that they all have color red. Okay, fine. Now in the next step, we will remove all those color red vertices and have the remaining graph, and we will suppose say choose a new color, blue, and then we will again do this algorithm with respect to blue color. In this way, we will keep doing until all our colors, all our vertices are colored. Okay, now coming to the performance of this RLF algorithm, it turns out to be order of n cube, and one of the factor of n is due to this step, which is the maximum number of, which is finding the highest degree node in the graph. And yeah, so traversing all the non-neighbors of that particular chosen node and searching a vertex v with maximum number of common neighbors with v naught is actually costing us order of n square elementary other operations. That's why this total time complexity is order of n cube. Okay, let's see one example. Again, the example of BSc that we did, we will solve it with RLF now. And we can see here is that this is the maximum degree node. We will color it red. Now what happens? We will throw all its neighbor out of this graph. A, B, D and F are gone. Only E and G are remaining. And then we can easily see that because there is no conflict, E and G can also be colored red. So we have found these three particular nodes, C, E, G, which can be put in one color set, and we color them with red. Okay, now in the second step, we throw C, E, G out of the graph. Only A, B, D, F are remaining, and we choose the one degree, the node with highest degree. Suppose we choose A, then we throw B out, and then we color D and F with we color A, D and F with same color set. So ADF and AD and F are colored yellow. Now we throw AD and F also out of the graph. Now only B remains. So we'll color it with some other color, which is suppose blue. Hence our coloring is completed and RLF is completed. Now I would like to mention one point, that is we can do one optimization. As I said in the start, that the greedy choices do have a big impact. Like so we can we are choosing the node with highest degree, but we can also make sure that we choose the nodes with highest degree in such a way that our remaining graph has minimum number of edges. So the graph is very much condensed, like in the sense of number of edges. So this will help us a lot in the next iteration of the RLF. That's why we can use this kind of heuristic to optimize time in practice. Now I would like to thank on the behalf of my team for this wonderful chance that we were given to explain all the algorithms. Yeah, and that would be all.